Welcome to Unit 8 Statistics, lesson number 9. We're going to talk about box plots or box and whisker plots. Your objective for this lesson is to make and interpret box and whisker plots and compare box and whisker plots. Your essential question is, how can you use quartiles to represent data graphically? A box and whisker plot, or a box plot, represents a data set along a number line, and it uses 5 key numbers. Recall that the difference between the first quartile and the third quartile is called the interquartile range. The smallest piece of data is the minimum, and that is located in my box and whisker plot right here. Then we have the median of the lower half of the data, which is that Q1, the first quartile, and that's represented right here. Then we have the median of the entire data set, and that is Q2, or the median, and that's represented right here in my box. Then we have the median of the upper data set, which is Q3, and that's located right here, representing this part of the box. Then we have the largest data set, which is called the maximum, and that's located right here at the end of the whisker. So that you have the box, and then you have the bars, and those are considered like the whiskers. The 5 numbers that make up the box and whisker plot are also called the 5-number summary of the data set. All right, I'm going to attempt to show you how to draw a box and whisker plot, or a box plot. The following data set represents the number of animal crackers in a snack-sized box. You notice my numbers are not ordered from least to greatest, so I'm going to start by putting them in the correct order. I'm going to go ahead and create my number line, and I'll start at 30 and end at 50 because that's within my data range, and I'll make them in intervals of 5, so I have 35, 40, and 45. Now I can go ahead and pull out those 5 number summary points from my data. And we'll start with the median, which is that middle number, and it's 48. And then I can look on my number line and draw a line that represents the 48. Well, it looks like that's about where 48 is. Then I'm going to find my lower and my upper quartile medians. So my Q1 is going to be 45 and my Q3 is going to be 49. And I will draw those lines. Now that I have my Q1, Q2, and Q3, I can make a box. I'm going to identify my minimum and my maximum numbers, which is 34 and 50. And those are my whiskers, so I'm going to plot those with just little lines and then connect those to my box. So you can see my spread goes from 34 to 50, and my data is skewed left because the majority of my data is on the right. Now that we've done that, I'd like you to pause the tape, try number 2 on your own, and then I'll quickly go through 2. So welcome back. The following data set represents the number of hours a small candle will burn. My data is not in order from least to greatest, so we'll start there. And then you're going to identify, hopefully you already did, your median, and which is your Q2, and then your Q1 and Q3. And then you're going to identify your minimum and maximum. So your least and greatest, that spread. Hopefully you made a number line. Now your number line might look a little different than mine. I started with 0 and went to 20 because that's within the range, but you could have started at 5 and went to 20 or 25. And then you should identify those key points. So here is my Q2, my Q1, right there, my Q3, right here, oops, and then you have your minimum, which goes to here, and you have your maximum, which goes to here. Now we have a box and whisker plot, and we're going to work backwards to get our 5 number summary points. You can start anywhere when you're looking at your box and whisker plot to get those minimum, maximum, Q1, Q2, and Q3. But I like to start with Q2, the median, and that is in the side of my box, and it looks like it's right on 14. Then I can look and see my Q1 is going to be 12. My Q3 is the other end of my box, and that looks like it's 16. And then my whiskers for my minimum looks like it's 11. And the maximum whisker looks like it's about 18. All right, we're going to use our knowledge of box plots and answer the following questions. Here we have Christina, who conducted a poll to determine the number of colleges high school seniors applied to. And so she created this box and whisker plot. And number 4 is asking us to determine the range of the numbers of colleges. The range goes from the minimum all the way to the maximum. And when I look at that, 0 to 9, so therefore it is 9 colleges. What is the median number of colleges applied to? So the median is my Q2, and that is the line in the center of my box, which is on 6. So the median number of colleges would be 6 colleges. What is the interquartile range of the number of colleges? So again, the interquartile range looks at the difference between Q3, which is on 8, and Q1, which is on 4. Those are the ends of my box. So 8 minus 4 is 4. So 4 colleges. Which quartile represents the greatest spread of data? So when we're looking at our data, remember that (25% of it is this whisker here, 25% is in this box here, 25% represents this box here, and 25% represents the whisker here. So when I'm looking at which one represents the biggest spread, that would be my whisker, which represents quartile 1, or the first quartile. So how do I describe the variability, the spread of my college applications? And when I'm looking at my box and whisker plot, the majority of that data falls within the box. So therefore, that difference falls within 4 to 8 colleges. The average monthly rainfall during the summer months and winter months are shown in the 2 box and whisker plots. We are going to compare that data and answer the following statements with either true or false. 1 is asking the range of rainfall in the winter month was 12 inches. So I'm going to take my maximum and my minimum values, and that falls about 3. So 15 minus 3, or that difference, is 12. So that would be true. The second question is asking what is the median rainfall in the summer? Is it 13 inches? Well, when I look at my median of the summer, that's that middle Q2, and it looks like it's falling on 11, so that would be false. The next question also has to do with the median of the summer, when it says for half of the months in the summer, the rainfall was greater than 11 inches. So the median splits that data in half. It falls on 11, so that would be true. And the last question, for half of the weeks in the winter, the rainfall was less than 10 inches. So I'm going to look for my Q2 and bring it down. And it does fall on 10, so that would be a true statement as well. One final thought before we end our lesson. First, I attached a picture of the box and whisker plots and what they look like when they are skewed. And then I've attached reminding you that the quartiles are displayed in the box and whisker plot. And when you're looking at the data, when you order it, when you split it up in half, at Q2, that splits it in half. And then your quarter 3 splits that upper quartile in half, and your Q1 splits that other quartile in half. So this is my whisker. This is 1/2 of my box. This is the other half of my box, and this is my whisker. That completes our lesson number 9 on box plots or box and whisker plots. If you have any questions about this video, or when you're working in Khan Academy or IXL and you run across questions, please post those in the discussion page in our Google Classroom. Don't forget to do your exit ticket before moving on to lesson number 10. And I thank you for watching the video.